Hey guys, what's going on? Sanjay here. We're about to kick off shortly. Gonna switch over to the live feed. Hey, what's going on? Having some technical difficulties with Rose trying to join for some reason, so I'm trying to see if I can set her up again. Give me a second here. Let me try to generate one more link for her. But anyway, welcome to Motivation Station. I'm one of the hosts, Sanjay, and I have a co-host who hopefully will either get her up and running, shortly, or make sure for next time she's basically good to go. But welcome, like I said, welcome to Motivation Station. It's hopefully a cozy place where we can talk, interact, motivate, inspire, just have a good time here. It was an idea that Rose and I came up with to do a podcast, and we're like, why not? Sounds pretty fun. And I wanted to make it like a little bit more homely, a little bit more chill, calm, Just kind of like having a nice coffee break with somebody and just catching up, see what's going on in their lives, and just relax. Um, Let me see. All right. I think Rose is just having some trouble on her end with the video feed. Uh, Rose, if you're watching this, you can at least, I think you can at least type in the chat. So if you're signed into YouTube, you can at least type in there for now, and we'll work with what we have there. But anyway, yeah, well, I mean, we're hoping that we can make some podcasts every week at on Saturday at 11, and we're hoping people can stop by, talk, chat in the group, or even if they're interested in being part of the podcast, we can set that up and have them talk about themselves there too. But I guess to kick it off for now, I'll talk about myself. So again, my name is Sanjay. Um, I mean, I have been into wanting to get into some sort of like filming and streaming and stuff like that. So right now, all I really do is I'll stream like video games that I play with like friends or like by myself. I also make my YouTube videos of driving, called Spat Sizzle Drives. And just me driving around town and just catching people who drive weird or wrong or something. It's fun. I mean, it puts it puts me at ease to make these videos because I do like to talk to people. I know I'm still like a growing streamer at this point, but I do hope to get to a point where people will watch me actively, and tune into all these other videos I want to make. And I feel like making these videos really does encourage me to do more, and then to do more on top of that. I started off small. I started off with just watching. Um, I started off originally with the Specials or Drives videos, and then I wanted to get into streaming with video games because like I just I like showing off my video games, and like people watching me play, especially when I play like horror games, and sometimes playing games with friends and stuff. It's fun to me. And I know like my cousin loves to watch me play because like at the time she didn't have a gaming computer, so it's like she has something to do now, so she can like watch me play, laugh, interact. So I started off there, worked my way up. I might actually get into doing like a vlog of rebuilding one of my older cars, which would be fun. Oh hey, yeah, it looks like it's Rose talking there, and that is also a good friend of mine, Dave. Wow, Dave, thanks for coming by. Um, so where was I? I'm sorry. Yeah, so just to fast forward, I guess Rose and I started talking about, oh, let's do a podcast, and it basically came up with while we were drinking coffee. Like we decided to link up after some time, and I said, hey, like I haven't talked to you in forever. Let's catch up. Let's have some coffee. And it was a very casual conversation. We were just talking about what we want to do with our lives and where we want to go and stuff like that. And we came up with the idea, like, why don't we just make a podcast to encourage each other about like the things we want to do in our lives. And it was great. And I was like, look, I'll make up the streaming platform and the YouTube channel and stuff like that, and let's kick it off. So what we wanted to do going forward is that we wanted to make these podcasts, and I think for us it's going to be a casual conversation with each other. And obviously the more people that come, they can get involved with our conversations, share some of their life stories and their motivations, be more involved. And week after week, maybe hopefully we'll get more and more people to join. And just like having coffee with your friends, and it's a safe platform. It's a safe space to open up. Definitely we can talk on more of a private level if it comes down to it. But like we're here to motivate you as well as motivate ourselves. And we look forward to our future podcast as well. Today was more just of a introduction to our podcast as well as ourselves, and unfortunately, Rose couldn't get it going for now for some technical difficulties, but no big deal. But let's see. She says, yes, we have interesting guests with his mission next week, and we will work on technical part. Will be awesome. Yeah. So Rose did reach out to me during the week this week and told me that she does have someone who wants to be part of the podcast. And we'll bring him in, and he'll go over his motivation in his life. And I'm looking forward to that, Rose. I really am, and I'm hoping we can get our stuff working so we can definitely talk more. And we can definitely reintroduce yourself as well, because you have your story to tell. But I mean, if you want to go ahead and put it into the chat here, if you please feel free to throw that in there. But one thing I would like to do is, like, definitely have a nice little cup of tea, cup of coffee, whatever you have in the morning. I ended up making my own, like, custom cup. Oh man, I'm doing some glitchy work here. And yeah, because I'm using like a background. Like, I kind of wish I was sitting here, but I'm not. But I made a custom cup for it, and it says Spatizzle, and I know that's like, not Sanjay. It doesn't say Sanjay, but Spatizzle is just one of my gaming aliases that I came up with. Long story about that, but it was basically, I had a group of friends that we came up with a team name, and we were just using parts of our name. So I did like my first initial last name, so it's S Patel, and then we just kind of associated Izzle with it. So I just went Spatizzle, and then it just stuck. And I kept that going, so I rode out that wave. But yeah, just casual conversation. Have some coffee, tea. Can definitely go over stuff. Once again, like I said, David, I appreciate you. Dave, I appreciate you coming by. Um, Dave's actually one of my he's a good friend of mine, but he was also one of my bosses when I worked at a previous position. Super down to earth dude, and we got along well. So appreciate you taking the time to come through, man. Dude, I really do. And look, I'm still getting used to touching any of this, right? So I mean, I set up this little screen and the background. I'm trying to make a more official banner for the motivation station. Right under me is supposed to be Rose with her camera, but yeah, it's having issues there. And then I have the chat underneath the motivation station banner, but I'm still getting used to uh, how to make everything look per se. But let me see. Might as well just play with settings now, and if people stop in, that'd be great. But if not, no big deal. I didn't expect anything too big the first time, and it was definitely just like a trial by fire run for me. So let's see. Just to give an example of how it should look below. Hopefully it doesn't echo, but let me see if I can do this from my end. Going to send myself the link to join my own podcast, but I'm going to try to join from my phone, which I don't really have too much hope for, but yo, bro, takes confidence. Way to go. We all have a story and narrative to tell. Absolutely, Dave. I agree with you. And listen, man, I remember the times hanging out with you all the time, and listen, you got some interesting stories to tell too. I won't go too deep, but maybe one day if you're free and we get this stuff together, we can definitely have you on the podcast if you're game to join. Let's see. All right, I just want to test. I gotta input my name. Right? I wish, man. I wish. All right. So I'm gonna mute my mic there. Oh. Gonna turn down my sound too. What the? Okay. Anyway, yeah, Dave. For real. No, I'm hoping at a point it's gonna at least, if it becomes a weekly thing, people start joining. Maybe we can even, do more. But baby steps. All right. Let me see. So I'm gonna turn on the volume here. I think I'm gonna. What am I doing? All right. So it is nice and frozen, as you can all tell. There you go. And this is the way it should be looking, with Rose here, but it's technical difficulty. So I'm hoping by next time we can get that organized. But as you can see, I am a lot less organized on my phone camera than I am on my stream camera. So we're gonna go ahead and disconnect that for now. But that's how it should be going there. So hopefully next time we'll have Rose join. I'm hoping this is. It looks like it's pretty live if I'm looking at my own stream. It is a few seconds behind, but Rose, if you're watching, if you wanna say anything, I can at least say it loud for you there, out loud at least. Sorry. Let's see. Trying to see what the difference is on the delay. It's not that bad. Anyway. All right. But yeah, like the game plan for us at the beginning at least was just Rose and I just talking about ourselves and our lives. And unfortunately, like I said, she's not live with us here, but I'll talk about my dreams and my passions. So, besides the streaming, I mean, like I said, I kind of just stream for fun. And if people join and watch, like I do enjoy interacting with people that way. The reason I kind of want to do everything is like just because I'm so like motivated to make things happen, right? I have a tough history, like a tough life when I was younger, and I'm trying to grow from that, grow bigger, grow better, stronger. And one of the things that kept me motivated, for example, was my car. I have a older 2000 Subaru that, Dave, I think I was still driving it when I worked for you down in Neptune. And the car's it's working, it's running mostly. And it's funny because I always told myself I wanted to fix it, to build it better, because I wanted to track day it or bring it to off-roading or something of that nature. But I never was encouraged or made the money to do it. So I was like, if I make video logs and stuff like that, that would motivate me to like get to that point. That's like, hey, maybe I'll start video logging like me rebuilding the car. And my shop guy, man, Paul, MP Built, you guys can check him out. He's like, you should really just make like a video log for it and just like show it from where it is now to where we're hoping it will be in the future. And I was like, yeah, no, that sounds fun. But I think the journey is going to be something inspiring. It's going to be something fun, and I think people would actually want to watch it. So I told myself I wanted to do this for the longest time, and I think my greatest motivation factor here was the fact that one lady from a town hall came by and just happened to see that my car had not passed inspection in some time. So I kind of got red flagged for it. They're like, you have to get it inspected or else they're gonna tow it. And I didn't want to get that car towed, or even my parents were like, yo, this car's kind of old, try to I feel my body would be called. Oh yeah. Sorry, I'm just reading messages that I'm getting as well. So the car's kind of old. Like the motor's kind of on the bad. Like the reason I actually failed the inspection is because there was an oil leak, and the oil leak was causing the car to smoke. So when I went for inspection, the car was smoking. People were like, "Yeah, that's not good." So I never got it really fixed. And it's been sitting in my driveway for years now. Now, I didn't want to return the plate I got because I got a custom license plate for the car. I didn't want to return it because the license plate says P Kushi, and what that is like so Kushi in Hindi means like happiness. So I labeled it P Kushi as Project Kushi, so Project Happiness. And I didn't want to return that plate because I didn't want to lose it, and I just kept it in my driveway, no problems, until like this had happened. And when this happened, like, and I was kind of put in a position where it's either like I can't take it to the DMV because it's not in the shape to pass inspection now, and I don't want to lose my car. So I was like, you know what, I got to start making moves. So I have it right now towed over to my buddy's shop, and I'm like, you know what, it's gonna take off. So hopefully, if you guys want to check it out, it's like the Spatizzle channel, but I'm gonna start putting a vlog on there eventually, and you can follow that journey. But like for me to be able to talk about it on this platform and be able to communicate with the people here watching, it inspires me. It encourages me to make it happen, because I don't want to sit here and tell a story and just it be a story. I want to make it happen. And I think that's why having conversations like this are great. And I think this podcast is going to do well when it comes to being able to have these conversations in the open, have people there to encourage you, have people there to motivate you. So I'm hoping that this opens some doors and avenues to some people who are maybe on the shyer side and don't want to talk about it, or are afraid how to start, or anything like that. Just we're here to bring you up. We're all here to be the best that we can be, right? Yeah, no, my friend Dave just messaged me, and he was telling me, yeah, he had a podcast dream to make as well. And hey, Dave, man, you can make it happen, bro. I know you can do it, and I'd love for that to happen and be part of your podcast if you ever do it. But I appreciate the enthusiasm, and I appreciate the push for it. Rose, if I believe you're still here, do you have anything you'd like to share, or I can only, I could probably talk all day, to be honest. I sit here and play video games a lot, so I could do that. Let's see. My dream car sat in driveway for 8 years. Wife was wondering if it would ever live again, much like old school Camaro from movie Better Off Dead. Yeah, with John Cusack. Yeah, no. I listen. I totally get. Like, I'm at the point that like my parents see that car and they're like, look, it was a wonderful car, and it was a wonderful first car, because it was actually my own first car, and they're like, maybe you should sell it, like maybe you should let that go. But then they were hard on me on that too when I was younger, and I told them, I was like, this was my dream car. Like, it was an old beat up, it's a 2000 Subaru RS, right? It wasn't beat up per se, but it showed its age, right? So 2000, and I bought it back in 2008. The body was in decent shape. It was automatic. It had, I think I bought it with like 150,000 miles on the car itself, and I remember it like we bought it for like $4,000, and I didn't have that much money. I only had like a few grand saved because I was younger, and like I just started doing part-time work, and my mom was like, I'll buy the car for you if you want it that bad. And I knew she knew it meant a lot to me, because I knew she didn't even have like the finance to do it. So she bought it on credit, and I know I shout out to my mom. I made it hard for her, but as soon as I got that car, I worked my part-time money. Any money I made, I would just push off to her, so then I can pay it off and then claim it to be my car. And over time, like I said, the cars changed. Like I swapped out motors. I swapped out transmissions. It went from automatic to being a 5-speed. I didn't care that it didn't look pretty. And the reason I didn't care about that is, like, I'm not trying to talk down to myself, but like, being disabled, for myself, I never looked at myself as like a very, I mean, I guess I could say I'll have a beautiful soul, but I never like physically was like, oh yeah, such as a good looking guy or anything like that per se. But like, I like the Frankenstein behind it. I like the drive and the motivation behind it. So my car would look beat up, but oh man, it sounded fun, and I got, you know, like kudos from people, and they're like, wow, like I had people actually wanting to offer to buy my car, and I'm like, I can't, like I love this car too much for that. um but like, like I said, my parents gave me kind of hard time, like, maybe you should let go. And I told them, I was like, look, this is the only thing really keeping me going. Like this is the only thing that's keeping the drive there for me. And like I talked about this with Rose, and that's why I was like, I would love to talk about this on a podcast. I know I can go deeper on this, and I don't want to take up all this time on Motivation Station to talk about like me and my motivation and what I want to do out of my life. But it's stuff like this that I would love to talk about with you guys, and share my moments, share your moments, and I think it would just be fantastic fun. Rose, I know, has her own story, and I'm just gonna let her tell her story when the time comes. Hopefully next week she'll be able to break it down a little bit. And like I said, she has a friend that is on a mission, and he would love to be part of the podcast. So we'll bring him in next week for sure. But if you want to hear more about that, please, like, I'll put more links to this video to both of our personal social medias, and you guys can talk about the car stuff more on that. Thank you, David, for asking that. Oh, Dave, sorry, I'm losing my mind. Yeah, tell us where the name Motivation Station comes from. All right, so the name actually came up pretty quick. So we were talking about the idea of what we wanted to do, right? So we talked about like what's the purpose of the podcast, right? Now, obviously, everybody wants to. They have we're in an age where people want to go viral, go famous, stuff like that. But for me it was more like I just wanted a platform where like we could talk, and we could motivate and stuff like that. So I was talking to Rose, and she's like, how about we do it like a podcast? How about we do like a a place where we can talk live, bring people in from chat, bring people in for like video and stuff like that. And I was like, this sounds good. So we're like, it's kind of like motivation, and we're just talking about how we want to motivate each other. So just to give you like a brief glimpse of Rose, I know she's very passionate and driven on helping people who can't help themselves. She's big on wanting to help the world out there, and she's a big dreamer. She's a lovely person. She's very like confident. She's very driven, and I feel like she just needed the right platform to get there. And I'm like, hey, I'm in tech. Like I can help make this happen. But she also appreciated where I come from. She's like, someone who kind of struggled with being handicapped, was always shy, was always an introvert, never really like talking to the world. And now, like, I'm not shy anymore. I mean, yeah, there's times where I'll be out in public and I'm shy because I do look physically different, but I don't let that take away from the fantastic experience that like I have now. And like there's people who unfortunately have given me the cold shoulder, and they look at me like, I don't know if I want to get to know them. But then there's people on the flip side where it's just like, they got to talk to me and like, wow, this guy's a very passionate and driven and strong person. Like, he's very funny. At least I think I'm funny. But then we came up with a chat where like we don't like it's like a motivational kind of chat, and we're trying to come up with a name, but we wanted to do like a name play to it, right? So we're like, oh, how about like Motivation Station, right? So we just did Motivation Station, and we're like, we should really do some sort of like name play to it or whatever, and not just keep it simple. There was a few names that we originally talked about, Rose. I don't remember it now because like it was like during coffee, and we sat there for like 10-15 minutes trying to figure out the perfect name for the podcast. But since we were having coffee, and I think she was having tea she had coffee at the time too, we're like, this kind of conversation, like we were getting like Rose and I are people who get loud when we are talking passionately. Like when we're very into what we're talking about, we tend to open up, and we're at a coffee shop, and we started getting loud. And I'm like, what if it's like something related to coffee? Like, what if it's like a coffee date? We go out, have coffee, and I'm just like, hey, how are you? How's everything? It's like catching up with a friend. And that's exactly what we had done. So she came up with motivation station. And I was like, oh, that's actually pretty good, because it's like motivation station, like while being caffeinated and like or like having like tea, coffee, whatever. And like we decided to use that and then use it at like this time at like 11 o'clock. We were hoping to do earlier. I think Rose, you can confirm, but we were talking about maybe changing the time to a little bit earlier. But right now she has some work going on that like it's like a scheduling conflict, so we decided to do like every Saturday at 11. Um, but we came up with the name that way. I love the idea. The little banner like I have right now is just made from, I think I use like Canva or something to make it. It's something simple. But I do want to get a more official banner. I have a friend that I'm working with that is gonna help me when she has time to make like a more official banner. But I'm gonna do like a play on where it says mo tea, and for the tea part, like have tea written as a picture but as a word, so it says tea but it looks like a cup of tea. Yeah, I got some innovative ideas, but I'm gonna get that down when I can. Let's see. So this is from Rose. So this station, like a radio station for motivation. We don't have station in radio for motivation. Sanjay came up with the T moment, and we came up with the motivation station. Well, yeah, yeah, just like she said. So like we were literally having coffee, and I was like, I want this place to be like a place where you're just, it's like a casual, actual conversation. It's just like, hey, like like Dave, like I'm honestly hoping that I do meet up with you, because I know Dave and I we're good friends ever since I worked with him, and I've worked with him for several years. Fantastic dude, and very knowledgeable, very funny, and he has a lot of history, like a lot of stories. And there's times where I meet up with him, and we don't do tea or coffee. We'll do beer and food, but it's like that, Dave. And, like it's like kind of like meeting up with a friend, catching up. How's life? How's everything going? What do you have planned for the future? Like, what do you want to do? And blah blah blah. It's kind of like that, and it's very casual. And I am hoping that over time. And Dave, I'm super happy that you're here. Rose, I'm super glad that you're able to join via chat. Like this is how I want the podcast to be. Like, and even if it's like people are not actively here, at least me and Rose will have each other to talk to. I mean, I could sit here and talk about myself all day. Like there's still stuff to be said, and there's stuff to be here weekly. So I'm very excited about this. I really am. And out of like all the things I've done, like I know I do my gaming, my game streaming, my driving videos. I think when I start my vlog for my car, it's gonna be great. But I'm very excited for this. I really am. And I'm looking forward to seeing where this is going. Yes, absolutely. I agree with you, Rose. Ideas welcome. Like anybody, if they have any ideas on to share, maybe like innovative ideas for us to broadcast better and stuff like that. In our channel, I'll have a link to our YouTube channel. So please, like, comment, subscribe in our videos. I'll have links to Rose and my own personal social medias, and our email. So if you have ideas and stuff that you want to send over on an email, I would love it. And even if you want to maybe even be part of the podcast, shoot us an email, and we'll definitely connect with you during the week, set up a time to be able to set up a format so that you guys can, you don't have to be on video. If you're shy, you don't have to be on video. You could just be on audio, and we can set it up that you're able to talk on our podcast, or, just be a part of it. And we could definitely plan it out. But I definitely want to put more effort and time into making this a lot bigger and a lot better. Yeah, cozy vibes. Exactly, Rose. Like, cozy vibes. I got some nice chill music playing. I got a fake background that I like a lot. I kind of wish like how it looked. This is how it looked for me now, but wishful thinking. I am hoping over time. Like I said, this is just starting off, and I'm more on the technical side of things, so I don't know how to make things look great. But I think personally, and I think you guys will agree, this looks pretty good. Like there's too much open air right now. So like I said, the format is Rose would be under me. There's a chat box next to me. I might move some stuff around, but yeah, maybe I can fill it in with some other stuff. But we can see to that, see how that goes. Let's see. Um, yeah. So I mean, it's quiet for now. Another thing I'll talk about. Um, Another reason why I feel less shy and more motivated. Besides my family and my most of my friends. I have a very close friend who I was having some bad times with jobs. I'm not gonna lie. And Dave can totally agree with this. Um, like I feel like I have a strong work ethic and a strong like will to want to help people. So I work in customer service mostly for IT, and I got to levels where I got to kind of like to like a second level, and I just been struggling with work because I wasn't driven enough to do more, right? So I kind of got comfortable where I was with my job positions, but I always wanted to do more. I wanted to get to more managerial level. And unfortunately, I had a job that I loved. I got to know the people. I actually enjoyed doing the job, and I got laid off. And when I got laid off, the first job I had to take, I I wasn't excited for, but I needed to get a job because I have a family. I'll talk about that more, but I am married with a 2 year old daughter now, and I was like I can't be without a job, so I took this job, and it was a level one job. It was close to home, and I was happy with that part. But then when I started doing the job, I was like I wasn't built to just do level one, but I didn't get upset at the job for where I was. I got upset at myself, right? And I'm not trying to put hard blame on me, but I definitely could have done more to be somewhere better. And I think this going back to that level one job was like an eye opener. And I was like, you know what? Like this is on me. This is my fault that like I'm back here. And it listen, it gave me that drive to be like, all right, let me do some studying. So I tried to do studying for networking, cybersecurity, server stuff. And my problem is like I'm not driven by money. I'm not driven by like like, oh, let me make this big salary. I'm driven by like my work. I'm driven by like what I want to do with my life. And like work should be one of those things that like you shouldn't feel like, it's 9 o'clock in the morning, I gotta get up and go to work. Like like with work, like the way I want to work, like I love helping people, and that's why I want to get into a more managerial position where like I have a team that works for me. So I was like, like I can't just ride this wave and expect something to happen anymore. Like I gotta be driven, study stuff like that. So I finally found a course for doing project management, and the teacher that does it is very engaging, and it's fun to actually watch. So when I started doing studying for networking server, as I'm studying, I got bored, right? And if I got bored while studying this stuff, I'm like, I'm gonna get bored working it. I mean, yeah, I'll probably make good money, but like money isn't a drive for me. I mean, I'm not saying it shouldn't be a drive for anybody, but for me, it's like I'd rather be happy with what I do. Like, yeah, I want to make money, but like that's not the main factor. Eventually, I did leave my last position to get another level one position, but there's more work life balance to it. I don't feel stressed from it. My team is fantastic. I actually, I like all of them. I'm still getting to know them. I literally just started Monday, so I left my position back in September, like right a week before my birthday, and then I haven't worked for a month. So in that month, I've been just making videos or like getting prepared to make like motivation station and stuff like that. So I just started working on Monday, and it was my first full week, and it was a good time, and the pacing was perfect for me because like I can do my work, and then when there's a little downtime, I can study, I can read stuff, I can learn more, and like it's fantastic. Even getting ready for doing this podcast, like I was able to come home from work, put a few hours in to make a banner, to make these little animations, stuff like that. It was great, and I'm hoping that this is a stepping stone for me to move on to bigger and better things. Um, but like part of all this was to give me that motivation was music, because I'm big on music. I listen to a lot of music, and most of the time it was just like, I listen to everything except for country. Nothing against country, it's not my thing. But one of the biggest bands I listen to is called Run the Jewels. Now, it's not for everyone. They're a rap duo. They're, I like them because like a lot of their music I can relate to. And one thing I want to show off now that I'm talking about it is I got a tattoo. So I don't have a lot of tattoos. I have two now. My first tattoo was let's see if I can show it. Yeah, you see it? How do Gotta get used to the camera. All right, so that is from the Harry Potter. It's, holy crap. If somebody remembers this, please tell me. It's the Deathly Hollows, I think it is. I'm drawing a blank. And I grew up with Harry Potter, and it was probably like a series I couldn't put down. Like same thing with Lord of the Rings. I'm very into that fantasy stuff, but like it was my escape from reality. And back then I was really shy. Like the world was like literally kicking my ass, and when I was reading these books, I was just gone. So I was shy about getting a tattoo. It's this nice small tattoo. Oh, I don't know if you could tell too, but it's kind of hard to see. But underneath the tattoo, there's a scar. So when I was younger, I got surgery done to me from older doctors, which I probably will tell that story tonight too, or today. Sorry. Um, it's above the tattoo, so like to me it looks cool. It kind of looks like an arrow at that point. But before I get to the story of my doctor, which was honestly the most motivating thing ever, and that I think that's what changed my life. But I got this tattoo. Okay, this is gonna be weird because I don't want to stand up. Hold on, I'm gonna put my mic down for a second. So if yeah, it looks like you can still hear me. So it's a bird, which it kind of looks weird. Maybe in my when I make my car videos, watch that, and I can definitely show it off better. But it's a bird, and there's other birds on top of it, right? So there's smaller birds flying away, and then there's the big picture of the bird. So the bird has a broken wing, right? So um, I have a fantastic tattoo artist I work with, Tara. Shout out to you. Um, that helped me come up with an idea, right? So I made this tattoo built off a song lyric that I was very passionate about. And it's from Run the Jewels, and the song is called Down. And one of the lyrics from the song Down was even birds with broken wings want to fly. And that hit me because like, being disabled, like, I want to be able to live my life. I want to be able to do what everybody can do. And like being physically different was tough. It was very tough for me. I'm tearing up now as I even talk about it. So I really wanted to make that into art, and I tried. I know I reached out to people on Reddit, and I reached out to other tattoo artists, and like we couldn't come up with like a good concept. But I work with Tara. Um, you know what, Tara? I At the end of this, I'm going to put your Instagram on here, and I hope people follow you. She's beautiful soul, fantastic person. I was getting a tattoo, and we're having such a it was kind of like a motivation station conversation with her. Like it wasn't coffee, she was literally doing my tattoo. But like, I came to learn more about her passion about doing tattoos, and like her life story. And I was like, I would love it if we could be friends, and I'm hoping one of these days we can catch up and get coffee. But I asked her to like help me make this tattoo, and I based it off like one of these old album covers from one of the guys from Run the Jewels. And like the album cover is like a bird with like a shattered wing, like the wing is just like completely like glass and shattered. And like what she did is like she incorporated that part of it with this bird. Like, so it's kind of hard to see, but um like towards one of the wings has like hard slashes in it, as if it was like cut and broken. And I was like, this is fantastic. But like Run the Jewels for me was a band that really um like encourage me to just be like, you know what, man, like the world is rough, but you just be you, you know. And they have a few songs that are out there that just kind of hit close to my heart, and I fell in love with them, and here I am. You know, I became less shy, I became less uh self-conscious and stuff like that. And I'm like, look, if you want to meet me, I'm a fantastic person. If not, no big deal either. And go from there. So, oh, but to get closer to closing, closer to the end of the podcast, I thought these podcasts would probably be about a half hour, but I have enough to talk about that I'd probably talk about it for an hour or even more. But we're gonna try to keep it within a half hour to an hour. We're not gonna overdo it, because we're gonna do this weekly. We gotta leave content for you guys. Rose, thank you for coming. Yeah, I know you have some schedule after this, but she says have a great weekend, beautiful people, and awesome podcast. No problem, and blessings. But Rose, we'll connect later, maybe later today, tomorrow. But we'll do a few test runs to make sure that it'll work for you. Okay. But thank you for at least attending in this way and showing yourself. And I'm hoping next time we'll see more of you. And lastly, like I said, for my past, so one of the biggest motivations of anything for me. So I was born handicapped. I grew up handicapped. I had one doctor, my one orthopedist. And thanks, Dave. Well done on first podcast. Thank you. Like I said, just gonna close out with this last story. Had one doctor. He was my doctor my entire life, right? When I was younger, he said that he tested my strength. Like he had me do like squeeze his finger and stuff like that. And he was like, just to see how I'm growing as time went on. And he's like, you know what? When you turn 21, at the end of your bone growth, we could possibly do surgery to because like I have to straighten my arms and stuff like that. And I was excited because in my head I was like, yo, I can be normal. Like I can go back to, I can go be a normal person. And I was looking forward to it because I was like, I want to fit into society, right? As I grew, like my doctor would see how I'm doing, stuff like that. And then when I turned 21, the time came for me to be able to get the surgery. So that's why I got the scars, because the doctors opened up my arms, my legs too. I'm not going to show that because that's not flexible like that. But I have scars on my feet too because they went to look at it. And when I turned 21, I went to the doctor's office, kind of excited, kind of nervous. I didn't know what was going to happen. So at the doctor's office, we're there. And he's like talking to me, he's talking to my parents, and he asked my parents to leave the room for a second. And I was like, okay, so I think he's just gonna break it down to me and explain to me like, this is the process, this is what we're gonna do, this is what we're gonna do, stuff like that. My parents leave the room, and he shuts the door, and he takes a deep breath and just stands there for a moment, right? And I'm like, are you good? Like, are you nervous about giving me the surgery? Like, you're the doctor, like it should be fine, right? And he thanks, Dave. I do appreciate that. He goes, I'm not gonna give you the surgery. Oh, I was shocked. I was about to scream. I was just like, how are you gonna promise me something and then just fall back on it? Like, I was genuinely upset, right? And I was like, what do you mean? Like, I've waited my whole life for this. I'm gonna try not to tear up or cry too much here, but he said to me, he's like, I'm not gonna do the surgery because I don't think you need it. And I didn't know what to say. I just sat there kind of flabbergasted, right? So he goes, like, you can do everything everybody else does already, right? Sorry, I'm tears are coming, but no. But he was like, you drive, you work, you go to school. Like, some things are challenging. Of course, a high shelf is I can't reach, but I'm over that. I can just get a chair. It's not that, or I can ask for help, But back then I didn't have that mentality. But anyway, but that's what he said to me. He's like, I don't believe that you can't, like, the surgery is going to benefit you. He's like, there's a potential that it can go worse, but he's like, you can already do anything you want to do. Needless to say, after that, I cried for like 10 minutes straight, right? So it was the most touching thing I've ever heard in my life. And then after that, he's like, I wanted to say this to you because I wanted to see if you agree with me, right? And he's like, look, you're doing, like, I have you come in every every year. He's like, you're getting stronger, He actually told me, like, my condition, which I think it's like a form of muscular atrophy or muscular atrophy, or the other one. Anyway, um, thanks, Dave. Yeah, I don't know. Dave's just messaging me. Yeah, I'll definitely give you a call after Dave. So sorry. So it was a form of like a form of muscular atrophy, and my doctor told me at the time like I'm just the strongest that he saw in this condition, and I was like, that's kind of scary to hear because that means like the other other people might not be as strong. So it made me feel like lucky too, because like yeah, it could be worse. But when he said that to me, I was just like my parents' fear my entire life was like they didn't think I could make it because they're like you're too weak, like you're not gonna be able to handle the world. Like I had to take the short bus to school when I was younger because like they were too afraid that when going on a normal school bus that I can't climb the steps, that somebody will push me down or somebody bully me. I mean, I don't think I bullied as much, but I mean, whatever. But he pulled my parents back in and told them that, and he's like, I'm not gonna do this. But if you guys want to talk about it more, I'll recommend you to another doctor because it was his time he was thinking about retiring, and he was just like I'm not gonna do it. Like your son is fine. And it was like shortly after that moment that I was like, you know what, like I can do this stuff. Like between 20s and my late 20s I was still shy, but then after a while I was just like, nah, I'm good. Like, yeah, it might be a little bit physically different, but I think I'm a fantastic person, And I think there's a good amount of people that would agree with me on that. And it's like small little motivational stories like that kind of keep me going, they keep me excited. So it's stories like this that I would love to hear from you. I would love for Rose to share her stories. I love Dave to share his stories. Anybody else watching, anybody's here, anybody sees this afterward, if you watch this podcast and you're like, this is actually pretty cool, like I would love to be part of this or share my story, please reach out. Please, absolutely, please shoot an email, message us on YouTube, reach out to us on social media, and we could definitely talk about this stuff. And I know sometimes it's not easy to talk about, but like this is why I want to do this, because I like the same motivation I got. I want to throw it your way. I want to uplift you. I want to bring your spirits up. I want you to reach for your dreams and reach for your goals. But anyway, I like I said, I could talk all day, but I'm hoping that next week will be another cozy time, another cozy place with Rose here. And like I said, we have a guest joining us next week, but we're hoping to do this every week. Times may change, but right now I think we're set for every Saturday at 11 o'clock. But yeah, thank you for coming. If you stop by, and if you're watching this video, I'm uploading it to our channel. If you're watching it after, please tune in next week. Like, subscribe, and comment. Thank you for coming, everyone, and we'll see you guys soon. Have a motivated day.